That's why I fucking suck at typing. Oh. What is up? It's your boy A here, also known as Toon Link Main. And today, we're gonna do another AR cast. Sorry, I'm just trying to, fix something real quick. But yeah, we're just gonna recap our week 17 madness that's going on. And yeah, also the college football playoffs shenanigans, so, something. So yeah, let's get into the topics, shall we? So, basically, there are 3 Christmas games that is going on week 17 that we need to recap about. This is, first off, we're going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys versus the Washington Commanders. Then we go to the Detroit Lions versus the Minnesota Vikings. Then we go to the Denver Broncos versus the Kansas City Chiefs. So the Dallas Cowboys versus the Washington Commanders. The Cowboys win this one against the Commies. Dak Prescott with 19 for 37 attempts, 307 yards, 2 touchdowns. And Josh Johnson with 15 out of 23 attempts, 198 yards, no tutties, and no interceptions. Reaction to this one, this game was closer than I thought it's going to be. No turnovers at this game. Cowboys have more yards than the Commanders on offense. Then Dak is now at 4,000 passing yards this season. So that's the first Christmas game. Then we go over to the next Christmas game, which is going to be the Detroit Lions versus the Minnesota Vikings. In this one, the Vikings win this game against Detroit. Jared Goff with 18 out of 29 attempts, 197 yards, 1 tutty, and 2 interceptions. And Max Brosman with 9 out of 16 attempts, 51 yards, no tutties, no interceptions. Well, throughout this game, Lions commit 6 turnovers with 2 interceptions and 5 fumbles that Jared Goff has ever done throughout that entire game. Vikings have only 3 passing yards on offense the entire game. And the Vikings defense only shows up most of the time. And the Lions are eliminated from playoff contention to get Green Bay the 7th seed. Then we go to the last Christmas game. It's basically the Denver Broncos versus the Kansas City Chiefs. The Broncos beat the Chiefs on this one with Bo Nix, which is 26 out of 38 attempts, 182 yards, 1 tutty, and 1 interception, with Akulo Khan with 13 out of 22 attempts, 66 yards, and 1 touchdown. Reaction to this entire game is the fact that the Broncos defense did its best once again to beat Kansas City's offense. The Broncos had more yards on offense than the Chiefs. The Chiefs were leading 7-6 at halftime, and the Broncos did better in the second half. In conclusion, the Broncos are still going to be alive for the division one, however, and also the number 1 seed, however. So right before we go to the Saturday games, and also the Sunday games, notable Sunday games as well. Okay, so we're gonna go to the Saturday game. I hate the position of it. So speaking of the Saturday games, I will have to throw that out there. And, let's throw out the Saturday game. So, yeah, I'm actually throwing the Saturday game too. Okay, so on to the Saturday game. So, Houston versus the Chargers. Okay, so hold up 1 second. So, CJ Stroud, 16 out of 28 attempts, 244 yards, 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, with Justin Herbert with 21 out of 32 attempts, 236 yards, 1 touchdowns and 1 interceptions. Throughout the entire game, Houston's defense didn't allow a touchdown in the first half. Houston has more yards on offense than the Chargers. The Chargers tried to come back in the second half, but ultimately failed. And the Colts got eliminated with the Texans win. They clinched the playoff spot, and the Broncos are AFC West champions. So now we go to the other Saturday game, which is Baltimore versus Green Bay at night. The Ravens did win this one, a big win for them. It's Tyler Huntley with 16 out of 20 attempts, 107 yards, 1 touchdown, with Malik Willis with 18 out of 21 attempts, 288 yards, 1 touchdown. Throughout the entire game, Derrick Henry having a great game, 4 touchdowns and 216 yards. Baltimore is up 27-7 at half. Then Malik Willis got hurt somewhere in the somewhere like in the third quarter for Clayton Tune, and yeah, Clayton Tune didn't do good. And the Ravens, they stay alive for the AFC North title, which is going to be next week against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then we transition to the Sunday game between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Buffalo Bills. This is a notable one. Jalen Hurts, 13 out of 27 attempts, 110 yards, 1 touchdown. And Josh Allen with 23 out of 35 attempts, 262 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. What up? So the Eagles, technically, they were up 13-0 at half. But Buffalo tried to come back in the second half. And it all comes down to the last play with the Bills when they score a touchdown. Then here comes that 2-point conversion to Shakir. And then it failed. In my opinion, instead of taking the 2-point attempts, they should have just tied it up and sent it to overtime. But Eagles win this one, and New England is officially the AFC East champion. Now what up, Gem Z? We're just recapping some of these games. And fast forward to Sunday Night Football, which is Chicago Bears versus the San Francisco 49ers. This game is a classic one. So Caleb Williams, 25 out of 42 attempts, 330 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. With Brock Purdy with 24 out of 33 attempts, 303 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Throughout this entire game, a classic showdown of a classic offensive shootout. San Fran did have more yards than the Bears throughout the entire game. And it's kind of like a roller coaster. It keeps going, but San Fran did hold the lead. 80 points combined at this game in total for both teams. And San Fran, and also this game also had 800 total yards of offense combined. And San Fran is hanging on the number 1 seed, which is going to be this Saturday night against the Seattle Seahawks at home for the 49ers. Then the last game I want to talk about is this, oh my god, this fucking terrible Monday Night Football game that I had to talk about, but I have to. Rams versus Falcons. This horrible game. So Stafford is 22 out of 38 attempts, 269 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. With Kirk Cousins with 13 out of 20 attempts, 126 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. And throughout this entire game, Bijan Robinson having 195 yards, and I think with 2 touchdowns that he probably has. And the Rams were just losing 21-0 at the half. This game itself just ended Stafford's MVP race against Drake May. Then Rams implosion is coming in real time. And he's been doing this since the Carolina game back in week 13, and I know the warning sign. It's always the secondary. And now the Rams are technically locked up in the 6th seed, so you get a possibility between the Eagles and the Bears, but it's most likely going to be the Eagles. Bears take the 2nd seed. So that's basically all those damn Thursday games. All those damn games from week 17 that I had to recap. I had to recap those week 17 games and I don't like it. Well, maybe. You gotta recap them. Oh yeah, I gotta hurry up because okay, so yep. Week 18 could be interesting, but we gotta, I gotta spice things up. Now we gotta go to the college football realm. So I know how to do with the college football realm. So that Friday game between Alabama and Oklahoma. Okay, so Oklahoma, they were leading by 17 at the half. Then all of a sudden Alabama just pull out their old glory days to make sure that they came back against Oklahoma. And I feel like that was McCall. That they came back from they came back in a 17 nothing lead, probably at the end of the third quarter. So in conclusion, I'll definitely say this. So Alabama versus Oklahoma. Oklahoma was up by 17, which is 27 to. Okay, so 27 to 10, somewhere in the third quarter. And Alabama just decided to, Oh no, 17. And Alabama just scores 17 nothing lead to make it 34 to 24. So technically Alabama just moved on from Oklahoma after coming back from a 17 nothing lead. Somewhere in the second quarter. And now they're going to be playing the Indiana Hoosiers over there at the Rose Bowl. So that's one bowl game that we had to talk about. The other bowl game is going to be in this one, Miami versus Texas A&M. Throughout this game between Miami and Texas A&M, it was scoreless the entire half. I know it was windy throughout the entire game. And Miami got the first field goal in the third quarter. Then Texas A&M gets that one. Gets that field goal in the fourth quarter. Then, Marcel Reed, he got 2 interceptions throughout this entire game. And it just seals the fate. And let Carson Beck score that one touchdown nearly to the end of the game. And the final score throughout that game was 10-7, which is definitely not the best one right here, but it was very sloppy and very windy in College Station. And now the Miami Hurricanes are playing Ohio State tonight at the Cotton Bowl. Then we go to the third game between Tulane versus Ole Miss. Now we go to the third game between Tulane versus Ole Miss. Ole Miss just killed this team. Like, it was 17-3 at half. Then Ole Miss just starts steamrolling them in the throughout the entire game, mainly in the second half. Trinidad Camlis with 23 out of 29 attempts, 282 yards, 1 touchdown. Then you got Jake Redzel, which is 20 out of 35 attempts, 306 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And that 1 touchdown that Tulane had was in garbage time. We all know this team was dead when they played them because, I don't know why. Don't know why, but yeah. I don't think that team deserves to make the playoffs. Last but not least last playoff game was here. JMU versus Oregon. And my goodness, Oregon was just steamrolling them in the first half. Yeah, with Dante Moore, which is 19 out of 27 attempts, 313 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. With Alonzo Barnett III, which is 23 out of 48 attempts, 273 yards, 2 touchdowns. Oregon just steamrolled them in the first half. JMU tried to come back in the second half, but it was already too late. And the final score was 51-34. My thing is that I like the G5, but they should not be anywhere near this college football playoffs. But unfortunately, you got to deal with this whole automatic bidding, which sucks. So now, Miami, they're going against Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl. Oregon is going against Texas Tech in the Orange Bowl. And Alabama's going against Indiana in the Rose Bowl. Then the Sugar Bowl would definitely be Ole Miss versus Georgia, another rematch from the regular season between Ole Miss and Georgia. Like that's happening, but they're all one game is tonight. The other three are tomorrow.
Culture is actually damn good.
I'm calling both games.
It's past your bedtime. All in my ass.
Well, another thing I want to talk to you guys about was Stephon Diggs. Hold up, let me find it. Let's talk about Stephon Diggs. Oh boy. Well, now we're talking about Stephon Diggs. This is gonna be so much fun. So, Stephon Diggs, he is now charged with a felony and some legal trouble, charged with assault, with disturbing behavior to Christian Borum, just one day after revealed. And let me check this news. It's like, okay, so Borum is, according to court record, that he was that Stephon Diggs was assaulting a person that he had been in a relationship in Mansfield, Massachusetts back in August. Don't know why. There's something about this. It's not looking too damn good. I'm actually reading the article and this is not good. I think this is back in February. And yeah, it's an ongoing legal process, but like, I don't know if he's gonna be playing in the playoff. But I'm pretty sure he's gonna be playing in the playoff. But overall, I'm definitely reading some of these articles. It's Stephon Diggs is actually already getting something in some legal trouble. He's already just got into a felony by assaulting someone. Even worse, I'm reading the text messages. So the text messages is just less that Stephon Diggs is assaulting with this one person, with Borum actually. You will pay me out for a season and the money that you said that you will give me for my business, wasting my effing time being here because you got an effing circus going on. I'm out of your life. I won't be paying your ass. If I like to paying you and paying another chef. Are you high, B? Who the F gotta give you money for your business? I don't gotta do this MF thing. And if you can get whoever you want, you can you got my address. Tell them come to take money. Then if you tell them about, show me I'm paid. I'm reading the text messages and I was like, what is this? Yeah, he's facing charge of a felony with that type of with misdemeanor assault. Back in December 2nd at Mansfield, Massachusetts. But this is just getting ridiculous. Even worse, he tried to choke her to the crock of his elbows around her neck. This is getting out of hand. Yeah, this is getting out of hand. Yeah, it's already happening in December 30th. I don't know if he's going to be playing, or he might get suspended or something. Some of these inappropriate action. Another thing is with the Diggs brother, it's got to be Trayvon Diggs. And I am now looking up with Trayvon Diggs. So, Trayvon Diggs, he got released by the Dallas Cowboys, even though he didn't play like half of the season. And signed with the Green Bay Packers off of a waiver. I mean, half of the time, yes, Trayvon Diggs got injured. Was most likely injured throughout this entire season. Mainly because he got hit by the TV. So now, what's-McCall? So now the Green Bay Packers, they are claiming an all-pro corner, Trayvon Diggs, after he got waived by the Dallas Cowboys. Just 2 hours before this shit. And they're trying to adjust the Packers defense because, you know, the Packers are just injured to hell right now. After that, Micah Parsons, he did tweeted this out saying we're back, kinda. But once again, Micah Parsons is still dealing with a torn ACL, out for the season and going through the playoffs. And hope that Diggs can actually do something. Even worse, the Packers did lose to the Ravens, which I did talk about earlier. A 41-24 loss at home on Saturday night. And they are playing the Minnesota Vikings, which technically they would definitely rest their starters because they already got a playoff spot. They're already locked up with the 7th seed. And they got to figure out who the hell they're playing at 2. Most likely the Bears. What's even more funnier that the Dallas Cowboys give Trayvon Diggs a 5-year extension, $97 million, back in the summer of 2023. And since then, he has been hobbling with injured, played only 21 games in the last 3 years, and only 8 for the Cowboys with 8 for the Cowboys this year, with 25 tackles, no interceptions, no pass deflected. It is because he got hit by the TV when he was trying to fix the TV at his home. So yeah, that's basically it. I got something right there, but you know. So, basically, now we're going to transition to tonight's game and tomorrow's game. There's 4 of these bowl games. So tonight's bowl game, which is Miami versus Ohio State at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. For me, I have Ohio State beating Miami this game. I feel like Ohio State might be a better team right there compared to Miami because Feel like they can overpower right there. I don't know if any Miami defense can cover Jeremiah Smith. So I think Ohio State might get the edge through that place. Then we go to the 9 a.m. game, which is between Oregon versus Texas Tech, which is going to be the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans. And I'm going to say that Texas Tech might going to beat Oregon. I feel like they look like a better team in my opinion because, you know, Oregon, they look kind of great, but all in all, but like Texas Tech, you got to get that Big 12 rep right there some credit because they actually did outstanding throughout their whole entire season. So let me take Texas Tech with that part. Then we go to the noon one, which is going to be Alabama versus Indiana. And I said noon, or was it 1 p.m.? Actually, it was 1 p.m. So 1 p.m., which is going to be between Alabama versus Indiana. I said Indiana easily. I think Mendoza can actually just beat Alabama. The Heisman winner is just going to thrive through the Rose Bowl. But the bad news about the Rose Bowl, it's going to rain. I feel like it's going to rain in the Rose Bowl because it's expected for heavy rain in the Rose Bowl. So yeah, it's going to be that type of game. Even worse for Alabama. I don't know if they can even worse for Alabama. I don't know if they could beat this game in the rain. This isn't Floridian rain. This is California rain. And I don't know if Alabama knows anything about California rain. So I have Indiana with the win right there. Then the night game between Ole Miss versus... Oh yeah. Then we got Ole Miss versus Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. And I have Georgia winning that one. You seen that game between Ole Miss and Georgia? It's going to be the same outcome because, you know, close game, but same outcome because Georgia is superior in the SEC compared to Ole Miss. So basically, that's all my picks throughout this entire thingy for the quarterfinals. So that's all my picks for the quarterfinals. That I'm really just going to be there. But, you know, let me know if there's going to be any upsets or just leave it as it is. Because I think it should be as it is. But, yeah, what's my call? How long we've been streaming? We've been streaming for 35 minutes. That's not bad. Yeah, but sorry we just ran out of time in this video, on this stream. I know we got to deal with that game between Miami and Ohio State. And I'll see you guys later. Bye!